What's up, guys? Welcome to week 2 of our confidence series with Curls and Confidence and Nia Zamar. I hope you've had a fantastic week and you were able to do our call to action, which was do something that absolutely terrifies you, but you know is going to build your confidence up. So thanks for returning. This week we will be talking about beauty and confidence and what that means to us and how to do it. So let's start with, what is the definition of beauty?
So the definition of beauty, according to dictionary.com, is the quality present in a thing or person that gives you intense pleasure or deep satisfaction to the mind.
So that's regarding color, shape, sound, something that you really resonate and just can't keep your eyes off of. And of course, we all know beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah. And what I really liked about the dictionary.com definition is it actually mentioned like spirituality manifest. And I was like, ooh, dictionary.com, like you up to like this? Okay, cool. And that beauty is something much more than just what is like tangible or that we could feel. It's deeper than that. It's the thing that lives inside of us and the way that we stimulate that thing.
It's like, when you meet someone and you're like, they have such a beautiful soul. And it's not that they're not beautiful, but it's almost what attracts you the most is their soul, is their spirit, is their kindness. So sometimes when we think of beauty, we're thinking of, oh, that person's a beautiful on the outside, but there's so much more to beauty, and I think that's what today's video is really about.
Yes,
is diving a little deeper and saying what makes you beautiful on the inside as well as the outside, but what is that natural trait that just makes us say you are beautiful?
So can I ask you, what was the first time you felt beautiful?
Ooh, felt beautiful. So let me tell you, the first time I was told I was beautiful was actually when I started to wear makeup, and that wasn't necessarily a bad thing. But it just always made me feel like, well, am I not beautiful without the makeup? Like, why is it when I have foundation on? Because I actually didn't start wearing makeup till I was like 18.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's actually not that. I feel like really, maybe like to the new generation, they're like starting a little younger. But I feel like for us in our age group, 18 was around the same time for me.
Yeah, so like I would wear like eye makeup and stuff, but it wasn't until I started wearing foundation that I was so, oh my god, you look so beautiful, oh my goodness. And I was just kind of like, well, am I not pretty like, on a regular day when I'm not wearing foundation? But when I truly started to feel beautiful, and I'll tell you, and it's going to sound so corny, but my first long-term relationship, I actually just got out of it, but we were dating for 5 years. He would constantly tell me how beautiful I was, and I could be sweatpants with my hair all like ugly and nasty, especially when I was like going through my transitional stage as a natural. My hair was wild, and it was this constant reassurance and constant reminder that I was beautiful. So I could definitely say that's when I first felt like I was beautiful, because I was seen as so much more than just what I looked like from the outside, where he always was like, you're beautiful, like you're inside, you're outside, you're beautiful. So it didn't matter if I was all done up that day or if I was just chilling at home. It was just that constant reminder, like, you're beautiful. So that definitely was my first time. So I guess being in love made me first realize
so.
beautiful.
Yeah, I love that. Okay. For me, it wasn't similar to, like, there isn't this exact moment that I can recall where I'm like, in this moment, I now know I'm beautiful. But it was kind of like the years of undergrad. Like, I remember going into undergrad as one person and then leaving as another person completely. And it was the transformation that happened. I actually started wearing my hair. I relaxed my hair for first year of undergrad, thinking that like I was gonna be grown, and like it meant like having straight hair meant being grown. And then I remember going through the transition of like going back to natural, and I remember like those years I started to really come home to myself in a lot of ways, and I started to really have a better understanding of who I am as a person. And then it was more so towards the end of undergrad that I also had left a relationship that I was in for a long time. Like, all these things had happened. And by the end of it, I remember feeling really beautiful, because I felt like I had finally, like, kind of like, went through my caterpillar stage. Like, I was in my cocoon, and then somewhere towards the end of it, I started looking more like what I wanted to look like. I started being more of who I wanted to be, and I felt like I became this butterfly, and I like spread my wings. And that's when I started to really feel beautiful, is at the end of undergrad, when I was like, okay, I've arrived. Look at me. I'm here.
Diva. But no, it sounds like it was more of a
Yeah.
spiritual growth for you
Yeah.
then. So it was like you felt more beautiful as you grew, as you experienced life more.
Yeah, for sure.
Of course, you got your undergrad too, so it was like, haha,
Yes. And
extra grown.
it was that. It was the accomplishment of being able to be like, this is who I truly am. I'm here.
Love it.
Yeah. So as we start talking about confidence and how it relates to beauty, I feel like a question that we've been discussing within, between the two of us is like, can anyone be confident? Is confidence something that anyone can attain, or is confidence reserved for special people, whoever those people are, kind of thing?
Yeah, like when she first said, can anyone be confident, and threw this idea to me, I was taken back. I was like, can anyone be confident? And the truth is, yeah, anyone can be confident. It's just that we're told you can't be, or there's certain areas where you shouldn't be, or even currently, I just have a few friends who are like, Christina, I can't do this, or this won't happen for me because X, Y, and Z. And a lot of times as they're telling me their why they can't do something, it's because someone else has told them they can't. And I think that is really that underlining thing. So when we think of, can anyone be confident? We both know the answer, and I'm sure you guys would say, of course anyone can be confident. But then if I was to ask you, what is that one thing that you think you can't do? You'll say, well, because someone told me I couldn't, or I'm not qualified enough, or I just don't have whatever it takes to do that. And it's like, no, you could be confident. Anyone could be confident. It's just definitely finding that, right? So, I mean, what's your take on it?
I agree. I think that confidence is also connected to beauty and like what people see as beautiful within our society. And I feel like there's definitely like the desirables and the undesirable, and we can talk about that within natural hair community. Like we all know that like it's coming down to like certain curl types, or like whether it be skin tones, whether it be body size, like we can just keep listing all the things that society tells us is like more desirable or undesirable. And I think that sometimes what happens to us is we start to measure ourselves against these like
standards.
Yeah, these standards. And we start thinking, well, if I don't fit this or I don't fit that, then I'm not allowed to be confident. I'm not allowed to have what I want. I'm not allowed to be happy, is how it boils down to it a lot of the times. But truthfully, I think that confidence is something that lives inside of us. It's something that we already have. It belongs to us. Like no one can take that away from us, because when I think about confidence, I connect it to self-love. I connect it to beauty, and beauty is not something that's happening on the outside. No. Beauty is something that's happening on the inside. So therefore, it always belongs to us. I think the hard task at least, is learning to love ourselves, learn to see ourselves as beautiful, learning to be confident internally in a way that shines externally, and not letting anything on the outside of us take that away from us. And that's hard work. I'm saying it like it's simple, but totally. It's not simple at all. But I feel like that's where the work really comes in, is taking the time to figure out how we can grow and water this like plant of like self-love that lives in us, and let it shine out and be the confidence that we exude, regardless of like what anyone in society, whatever is happening outside, tells us.
It's like fine. And I love that as you were connecting it, you were like, it's like we can't be happy. And you made that connection with happiness and confidence. And that's the truth, because sometimes we feel unhappy because we're not as confident with ourselves, because we're being, limited by certain things. And really it's, you got to own it. You got to own your happiness. You got to own your confidence. And like, even as she was saying, I'm thinking, when you see someone and they're glowing, or they're really happy and they have that radiance to them, it's not their highlighter.
Oh, so true.
It's not their highlighter. It's something that happened. Like, they're either happy that, they're pregnant, or they just got engaged, or, they just got a promotion. And that happiness is literally oozing out of their skin, creating this glow. So, as she's talking about it, I'm like, totally, right? Because you have to own it. You have to find it within yourself, and then it shines out, right? So it's even beauty, right? Like it's you find your own, you find your style, you find what makes you happy. And then sometimes when you just feel like you're most natural, that's when you're getting the most amount of comments, because people are like, you're just naturally beautiful, you're just shining, you're just being you. So it's finding what makes you happy and just embracing every single ounce of you.
Yes. And you mentioned beauty, so I want to dive a little deeper into beauty, and beauty is so close to my heart, because I feel like a lot of us are taught that beauty is, again, this thing that lives outside of us, this external thing. And then we try to attain beauty through, the highlighter, literally the highlighter, where
Sure.
a lot of the time it's about figuring out how to really cultivate and manifest our understanding of beauty as something that's deeper and that's a lot more internal. So something that I personally do within my beauty rituals is I try to, and I guess I should talk about the word ritual for a second, because I feel like when I see people are like, what does that mean?
Yes.
And for me, ritual is something that you do every day. Something that you do every day that is, whether it be every day or every week, but you do it on a regular and consistent basis. So we talk about hair care routines, and that's also part of ritual. And ritual has been known to be particularly within people of color communities, a way of like connecting also spiritually. Ritual has been a way of healing. Ritual is connected to so many other things. And I feel like we think of beauty as only this thing that's for vanity. And beauty has, historically speaking, specifically, been more than just vanity.
Mm-hmm.
Beauty. So, for example, let me give you an example of beauty being more than vanity. So, eyeliner. So
Yes.
for particular cultures, wearing eyeliner is a way of like warding off the evil eye. So again, it's connected to something else. And I feel like within a really Western context, we talk about beauty as being vanity, but I don't think it's just that. I think it's so much more. And that's why, for me at least, it's connected to our internal understanding of ourselves.
No, completely. And I think too, now looking from that Western, beauty also represents power.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not forget that. Like, especially when
Mhm.
you see a beautiful woman, there's a lot more things that will open up for her. But at the same time too, does she necessarily have that beautiful soul or that inside that's going to match? Not necessarily. So that's why it's important to really understand that you need to have that beauty within yourself as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So shall we go into some of our tips? What would be your 3 tips for someone who's wanting to connect beauty and confidence in their daily life?
Someone who wants to connect beauty and confidence to their daily life.
Mhm.
What we've just spoken about just owning it, right? Finding your own style. Be playful. Don't feel like you have to limit yourself. Definitely be playful. Like I had faux locks in my hair actually. So a cute story to the whole my breakup phase is one thing I always said is I love locks. I love dreadlocks. And he was like, you're not getting dreadlocks. So the second we broke up, I got faux locks in. I got them right away. But I got to play with a different look and I almost became a different person because I just had this like second ego to myself. So be unapologetic and be willing to play with different styles, different colors, different lipstick shades. Go crazy. Find your own personal style and own your beauty. Like don't manipulate it. Like if you have the black hair, and I mean like the color black, and now you're trying to go platinum blonde, like be practical too, right? Like own your beauty. Find what works for you, what colors work for you, but you still want to stay true to who you are and the beautiful gifts that God has given you, right? Like if you have naturally curly hair, why fight it? I think that was actually my lesson this weekend. I haven't straightened my hair in 4 years.
Oh, okay.
And I went to go straighten it. Oh, yeah, that was a good story. I went to go straighten it. I have not left my hairdresser's house. My hair puffed right up. It started curling in the back. Like it was one of those lessons to me, like, don't fight it. Like your hair is curly. And I went home and I re-straightened it. It was not staying, like it would not stay down. So it was also that reminder, like all these years of fighting my hair and perming it and damaging it and hating my hair, and then spending the last 4 years of just being natural and embracing it and loving myself that much more to only try to go straight. Not saying it's not possible. I'm sure other girls are able to, have straight hair for at least 10 minutes. I'm not, the only one, but, just that idea. So that's definitely one of my biggest tips is to own your own beauty. Find what works for you. Makeup. I've actually worked in the beauty industry for about 4 years. I worked for Sephora. And makeup should never be to cover your natural beauty. Makeup should be to enhance your beauty, to enhance your best feature, to enhance what you want, right? Like I naturally will play up my eyes, but sometimes I hardly will play on my lips or my skin. I just won't focus on that. I just focus on it being natural. So just finding what is that feature that you really want to emphasize, but you're not trying to distract your beauty or take away from who you are. And lastly, with the whole spiritual growth, because I think that definitely was a beautiful connection, you gotta let it go. You gotta, ebbs and flows. What comes, what goes, you grow, you learn. Any challenge that comes into your life, you should be able to say, okay, I learned the lesson and this is how I'm going to get better. And keep getting better, because realistically, we're going to constantly keep growing. We're going to constantly be given weird dramas and situations in life that's going to push us. And that's just part of the journey, is to constantly keep growing and learning from those past experiences.
Yeah.
So what are your 3 takeaways?
I totally agree. I'm gonna piggyback off that one real quick, and definitely just say that it's okay. Like, it's okay to grow and to change. It's okay to transform in all the ways you need to transform, as many times as you need to transform, and that's beautiful. And for me, that connects to spirituality, that connects to really having a better understanding of your internal self and allowing what you're doing on your external self to reflect that internal self. And that could look like anything at any different time. For me, every color that I choose is a way of speaking to an internal aspect of myself, and connecting that back to my second point, which would be rituals, would be really, I'm into things like chakras and crystals and all that great stuff. So when I'm thinking of colors that I want to wear, me too.
We're both married now. And I have them here too. Like, I don't leave the house without them.
Exactly, me too. And when I'm thinking about what colors I want to wear, so for me, connecting back like rituals and spirituality to beauty, even my hair being purple. Purple is connected to the crown chakra. That's how part of like how I activate that. Like, that's for me is really important. Blue is connected to the throat chakra. That's allowing us to like free our voice and be able to speak the truths that we need to speak. For me, sometimes a color I love to wear is orange. Orange is connected to sacral chakra, which is around creativity and freeing our creativity. So using how I adorn myself and my beauty has been parts of how I give myself confidence to move through the world freely and to feel like I can be my best self, whatever my best self looks like that day. So my first point is connecting to your spiritual self. My second point is figuring out what rituals you can do in your beauty routine to allow yourself to feel more confident. And my third point would be self-affirmation and reclamation. There's a quote by Audre Lorde that I'm definitely going to butcher if I try, but she talks about defining myself for myself to not be eaten alive by other people's expectations, or something along the lines of that. Google the quote. It's definitely amazing. Maybe I'll like link it somewhere so you can actually see it. And for me, that's a really big thing. You need to figure out how you want to define yourself, who you want to be, and then live into that and act into that. Because I feel like sometimes when we don't take the time to do the work with ourselves, what ends up happening is we accept everyone else's definitions of us to be true because we just don't know. And I feel like it's really important to take the time to sit with yourself and be like, who are you and who do you want to be and how do you want to show up on this planet? What do you want that to look like? So those are my 3 points and my 3 takeaways.
Sounds great.
Yay.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving us your energy and your time, and we appreciate it. Like every video, we will have a takeaway for you this week.
So our call to action this week is to actually try it out. Try out figuring out a ritual for yourself or a beauty routine for yourself that you can really connect the internal aspect of it. So whether that be spirituality that incorporates crystals and that kind of thing, or whether that be doing some internal work of journaling and figuring out what it is that is your blockage and you need to be confident about, and how to figure out how to blend that into your beauty routine so that your beauty routine is something that is not so much about hiding, but more so about like unveiling your true self. And try to do that every day for 1 week.
So a good example, for example, would be, I know we touched about it last week, but while you're combing your hair, say an affirmation to yourself. Like, you are beautiful. You are strong. So that's essentially what our takeaway means by you creating your own ritual and creating your own affirmation. And that's what we want you to get into the habit of, is finding something that's going to ground you, but finding a system that's going to work and support you and really continue to build you. So, yeah, I don't know. I would love to hear what you decide to do, if you're going to play with some crystals, if you're going to use affirmations. I mean, we're totally open to it, but we would love to challenge you this
Light
week.
some sage while you're doing your makeup, and like let that be a meditative time for you. You know, turn your phone off and just sit with yourself. There's so many things that you could possibly do, and I'm so excited to hear about it. Yay!
So let's hear about it. That is our challenge for you this week. Please comment below and let us know what you decided to do, how that worked for you, how the challenge last week worked for you, because we would love to hear from you guys.
Okay. Enjoy your week.
Thank you again.
Bye.
Enjoy.
Peace.